Our next presentation today is on commercial and industrial handrails and balustrades. We've got two presenters, Josh.how and Jeremy.raikes from Moddex New Zealand. Presentation today we'll look at excerpts from the New Zealand Building Code, specifically NZ 4121 2001 and NZ 1657 1992. Also look at design considerations for specifying and installing safety balustrades and handrails for both commercial and industrial applications. Now, two presenters today. Josh.how is the Area Sales Manager for Moddex New Zealand. Josh assists with specification solutions within the non-residential construction. And Jeremy.raikes is the Managing Director of Moddex New Zealand and oversees all areas of the business. Jeremy works primarily in project management and product development. Jeremy also works with architects and designers to provide compliance advice and ensure specifications meet the relevant standards. So, gentlemen, good afternoon. Great to have you here with us today, and I'll leave it with you in your capable hands.
Thanks very much, Matthew, and good afternoon, everybody. So just a brief introduction to Moddex. We're a design and manufacturing business based here in New Zealand. We specialise in handrail and balustrade for commercial, industrial and civil applications.
Yep, we're looking okay from my end, so leave it with you.
Yep, perfect. So we do work with a lot of architects and on different projects around the country where we've got a pre-engineered and prefabricated system that we use to install on different projects. We've worked as closely as we can with engineers and architects like yourselves to produce a product that enables us to manufacture entirely off-site and bring a lot of speed on-site. I'll now hand over to Josh just to explain to you how our product families work. Okay, so this is just an example of a couple of projects. So we've got a fire stair on the left showing a balustrade complying to section F4 of the building code, maximum 100mm spacings, and those parts have all gone together. The only process carried out on site is the drilling into the concrete. The top right hand corner is a bike safe, so that's a barrier that's used for cycleways, and then you've got a powder coated job on a school in the bottom corner of the page.
And Josh, if you don't mind just speaking a little closer into the speaker there, just so we get a good quality audio, that would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sorry, we're just having a bit of trouble clicking through the screens here, but one area that Moddex has found has really helped with specifiers is grouping our products into product families. So the products we've got here are grouped into 4 different families. For different applications, we've got the assist rail, which is a public access handrail. We've got a bike safe barrier, which is for shared pathways. We've got the commercial balustrade, which is generally utilised for public access applications, and then we've got the tough rail Moddex industrial handrail system. So for example, it helps remove ambiguity as to what product has been specified. So just as an example, if you had a ramp, an accessible ramp that didn't have a mounting nib for the handrail, you'd be looking at a handrail configuration that had a smooth continuous top handrail, a mid handrail, and then we've got a system that's got a kick rail that's retrofitted onto the bottom of the stanchion. The products come in 4 different material types. Generally speaking, we work with our products in galvanised finished. The galvanised finish is often also powder coated, so powder coating can be in addition to galvanising, and we also do stainless steel and aluminium.
So this is a bit of a case study on the Ngā Stadium, which was done for the Christchurch City Council. We've got an accessible ramp at the end of the building, and we've also got some crowd-loaded barrier along the front of the grandstand. As you can see, this system was all powder-coated, and the modular construction on site allows us to leave a really good finish on the product. It's not like we're trying to handle long, large, unwieldy pieces of product. This slide here covers off the different mounting options that we provide. So depending on the application and the requirements, there is a range of different base plates that can be utilised, ranging from a fabricated stanchion that meets the specifics of the site to different offsets, angles, and we do have a large range of angled base plates and fittings available which cater to different ramp angles and steers. This particular project here is just to explain a point regarding the flexibility within the system. So we were engaged on this project in Sedima in the city in Auckland, and due to the requirements for the fire engineer of egress, we ended up having to customise the base plate on the stanchion to allow us to shift it across on the steer tread and still be within the minimum edge requirements for fixings. So while our system is modular, pre-engineered and prefabricated, we do have flexibility to meet specific site requirements. That brings us pretty close to the end of our presentation. Matthew, was there any questions?
All right, let me have a look through there. Thanks, gentlemen. I like a quick, punchy presentation. Although good that we got there with the slide transitions. All right, here on a project with different loadings when they're called up, can you explain how Moddex would cater to these load requirements while keeping the look the same?
Yeah, that's a good question, Matthew, and one that often comes up. This Ngā Stadium is a classic example of that. There is different loadings called up. The steers on the front of the stadium were called up C3 loadings, and that transitioned into C5 loadings at the top. So the way that we get around that is with our stanchion spacings. We've got engineered and pre-tested spacings, and the two systems can merge directly into each other without being noticed.
Okay. Hey, Josh, do you mind just using the mouse just to reference any, if we're looking at anything particular on those visuals? That would be really helpful.
Yeah, so the area I was referring to, Josh is just pointing it out now, along this piece here is crowd loaded.
Yep.
And then we transition down the stairs into a C3 system.
Got it. Okay. Okay, New Zealand Building Code calls up 1,100 high barriers on landings with the requirements of 900 high on stairs, barriers on stairs. What would your recommendation be at the connection point between the two?
Again, good question, Matthew. If we go back to the families, we normally use a CB30 system on a stair, which has a handrail connected to the top of the barrier. And on transition to the landing, we'll go to a CB40 system, which has an 1,100 high barrier, and the handrail will transition off the top of the CB30 around to the side of the CB40.
Okay, good. Thank you. And now thinking about code compliance and specifically with regards to F4, falling from height, can you explain the process that Moddex follows to assist council sign-off?
Yeah, thanks for that. Council sign-off, the main area is for Moddex, where we help out there is with producer statements. Generally speaking, there's two ways we can go with producer statements. We have generic off-the-shelf producer statements for our balustrade and handrail systems. So that's a producer statement we can hand out at any given time. It's got different fixing details, for example, fixing into timber, fixing into concrete, fixing into steel, and then also fixing into wooden strings for decks. So that's a generic off-the-shelf document. We can hand them out. In the case that that is not accepted by local council, we then go to a site-specific PS1. So that's a specific designed PS1 for the particular application for that project.
Okay. Talking of PS1s, got a question here. Do you provide PS1 service online?
Yeah, we do have our generic PS1s available online, and site-specific is not too difficult, but it will be obviously a process of going through it with our engineer to approve that.
Okay, so if people were looking to do that, how do they action that, Jeremy?
If they can just send an inquiry regarding the project and a bit of detail, we can tackle that on a case-by-case basis.
Yep. Okay. Now, gentlemen, I've just taken the screen back, but I realise that you guys are running a survey and you'd like to get some feedback from people. Have you got a screen? Got a slide for that?
Sure. Thanks, Matthew. So yeah, as a progressive and innovative company, we are looking for ways that we can help in the specification space, and to assist with gathering some feedback on that, we've got an offer running at the moment on a free family cube barbecue that we're giving away. So there is a quick 5-question survey, and we will be providing a barbecue to the individual that provides us with the most relevant feedback relating to handrail and balustrade on construction, civil, road and rail projects. And if you wish to enter this competition, just click yes in the poll and we'll contact you with the survey link.
Great. Okay. Well, I've got that poll up now. So if people would like to get involved in that, then they can just select their interest in question number 2. So I'll just leave that up. Also ask people just to give feedback on the presentation today as well. So thanks for everyone participating in that.
Thanks, Matthew.
All right. Catch you all.